Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us. Yes, we are live now. So today in this evening, we're gonna discuss on a topic which we have been talking since our last webinars, which is on career stress, and which is for the last webinar was on career stress and for the students especially. But now today we're gonna move a little ahead. We're gonna navigate the impact of choosing a wrong career path and how can it have an impact on one's mental health. So today we have with us the founder of PsychSpace, Ms. Priyanka Bhattacharjee, who is a consultant, clinical psychologist in the Apollo Hospital and in Be Well Healthcare Clinic. And along with her, we have another speaker, Ms. Lisa Chaudhary, who is a psychologist in PsychSpace. And along with that, I am Yeja, a moderator and a psychologist working in PsychSpace. So welcome everyone.
Hi everyone. Hi Ija. Thank you for a
Hi,
beautiful welcome.
hi, ma'am.
Yes.
So, yeah. So, as I remember the webinar before the previous webinar, we have been speaking about career stress, and how we were decoding about career stress and everything. So this time we got few response from our last webinar, and this time we move a bit ahead, and we are focusing on the impact it has on mental health directly, and how choosing a wrong career path and choosing something which we feel that with the flow of what our parents says and what the what society tells us, and we take up that particular stream or career, and then we feel somewhere hopeless and somewhere we are clueless in our career journey. So in that sense, today we're going to talk about the impact it has on the mental health. So, my first question is, how does one realize that one might have chosen the wrong career path? Like, what are the initial signs and feelings?
Right. So first of all, Yeja very well said. We have been talking about career stress, and we've been talking about how it's been impacting and how it begins, and the kind of impact it makes on someone's functioning. And I really appreciate that we are able to, take things forward. And I really appreciate the feedback that we are getting from our viewers so that we are more able to focus on certain specific topics which our viewers, our audience would like to hear from us. So I think doing so, we are trying to address certain very specific queries and requirement. So এইটো ছেশ্যনত আমি অসমীয়া ইংলিছ হিন্দী অকণমান মিলাই মেলি আমি কথাখিনি ক'ব বিচাৰিম, কাৰণ কাৰিয়াৰ ষ্ট্ৰেছত বহুতখিনি ল'ৰা ছোৱালী আক্ৰান্ত হৈ থাকে। আৰু যিহেতুকে কাৰিয়াৰ ষ্ট্ৰেছটো এটা ঠিক বেমাৰ নহয়, ৰাইট? এইটো এটা কোনো মানসিক অসুবিধা নহয়, কিন্তু কাৰিয়াৰ ষ্ট্ৰেছটো যদি দীঘলীয়াভাৱে থাকি যায়, বা এইটো যদি আমি টাইমলি হেণ্ডল নকৰোঁ, টাইমলি যদি আমি এড্ৰেছ নকৰোঁ, career stress can have, or it has the potential to to cause any other very serious psychological condition. So career stress per se শুনতে নালাগে, যিহেতুকে মই ক'লো যে এইটো এইটো বস্তু আমাৰ কোনো ডায়গনচিছ নাই বুলি। কিন্তু যদিও ডায়গনচিছ নাই, ইয়াৰ কিন্তু এই বস্তুটোৱে আগলৈ গৈ পেলাই ইমান এটা ডিভাষ্টেটিং এফেক্ট কৰিব পাৰে যে এইটোৱে বেলেগ নানা ধৰণৰ মানসিক অসুবিধাৰ হোৱাৰ ইয়াৰ মানে career stress এটা মেজৰ ৰিজন হৈ পৰে। And particularly আমি দেখা পাওঁ যে adolescents, young adults, so তেওঁলোকে সদায় এইটোত সদায় এটা কনফ্লিক্টত থাকে, সদায় এটা হেৰিত থাকে, ডিলেমা এটাত থাকে, কনফিউজন এটাত থাকে। চ' সেইখিনিয়ে মানে বহুতখিনি এনেকুৱা ল'ৰা ছোৱালী বা য়াং এডাল্টছ তেওঁলোকে career stressৰ বাবে তেওঁলোকৰ ডিপ্ৰেশ্যন, anxiety disorder, various kinds of, maladaptive coping functioning, um, substance abuse. So এনেকুৱা ধৰণৰ very major psychiatric conditions or reason তাৰে মাজত এটা reason হৈ পৰে career stress. So এইটো কাৰণে আমি কেতিয়াও এইটো বস্তু um, we should never address, we should never ignore it, and we should never be negligent about it. So before, I guess, going to the question, মই কিছুমান তথ্য আজি আমাৰ মাজত হেৰি ক'ব বিচাৰো যে এটা ৰিপৰ্ট এটা পাইছিলো এপ্ৰিল 2022। এই যিটো ৰিপৰ্টটো মই পঢ়ি চাব বিচাৰিছো বা মই যেতিয়া এইখিনি তথ্য যেতিয়া গোটাবলৈ চেষ্টা কৰি আছিলো, তেতিয়া আমি দেখা পাওঁ যে there are very limited research done on this field as well. Like, how career stress can be a potential reason for any other psychological disorder, or it has a potential for, making things so distressing for an individual. তেনেকুৱা গৱেষণা, তেনেকুৱা ৰিচাৰ্চ, তেনেকুৱা ষ্টাডিজ বহুত কম হৈছে। বেছিভাগ ষ্টাডিজ বা যিটো হয়তো এটা বিৰাট ডমিনেণ্ট ৰিজনো হৈ পৰে, বেছিভাগ এইখিনিত আমি দেখা পাওঁ দ্য ৰাইজ ইন দ্য নাম্বাৰ অফ কেচেছ অফ চুইচাইড। চ' এটা আছিলে Times of India report of April 2022, around 63.5% of Indian students report stress due to academic pressure. Okay. So academic pressure to eta নিজৰ career decision or কাৰণেও এটা বহুত এটা গুৰুত্বপূৰ্ণ কথা. So the kind of, the content of study that we are doing, the kind of lifestyle we are going to have, out of that career choice and things like that. And particularly if there is no interest and passion towards what an individual is doing. So enekwa khetrot career or academic pressure to anubhav kora khub, it's very obvious, it's very natural, it happens. So আমি যেটা একাডেমিক প্রেসার বুলি কওঁ, তাৰ মাজত আমি এই মানে এই ফ্যাক্টরস খিনি আমি এমফেসিস কৰাটো বহুত ইম্পর্টেন্ট। Then another report in 2022, it said that of same Times of India, it said that 7 students of Triple IT Newsvidu have killed themselves in the 5 years. So in the past 5 years, they have they have lost 7 students, and all have been attributed to the reason of inability to cope with the academic structure and the pressure, and inability to cope with the entire career prospect of this situation. Along with that, there were reasons of the medium of study, the heavy competition, the homesickness, and the exam pattern. So এইখিনি অসুবিধাও career stress to বহুতখিনি impact কৰে. And there was another report according to the Ministry of Education in the same year 2022. It says that 122 students of IITs and IIMs have died by suicide in the last 7 years. These reports are absolutely shocking, and these are absolutely concerning. And that's the reason, the reason I have put these statistics up is to showcase that what extent career stress can go up to. As I have said, that career stress per se doesn't have a diagnosis. It's not a psychiatric illness, but it definitely has the potential to increase or cause any other psychiatric illness. So coming to the question of how people think, that what are the initial feelings or signs. So as I said, that it's not a disorder. So per se we don't see any kind of a symptoms, but there's a constant sense of discomfort, constant sense of inability to cope with the entire academic situation. Okay, be it struggling with this sleep schedule, be it able to not able to focus in the academics, not able to concentrate, and constant irritability. Okay, we also take a history that how have been the person performing in the previous years, আগৰখিনি অৱস্থাত স্কুল বা কলেজত তেওঁ কেনেকুৱা আছিলে আৰু এতিয়া তেওঁৰ ক্ষমতাখিনি কেনেকুৱা হৈ আছে. So that also gives us an idea. But there's a constant fear, there's a constant sense of irritability, and also a sense of avoidance. So আমি বহুত ক্ষেত্ৰত এইটো দেখা পাওঁ যে যিখিনি ল'ৰা ছোৱালী career stressত আক্ৰান্ত হৈ আছে, তেওঁলোকৰ এটা avoidance mechanism এটা আমি দেখা পাওঁ, যে হয় তেওঁলোকে এক্সামৰ সময়ত খুব বেছি ভয় খাই, খুব বেছি নাৰ্ভাছ কৰে। কেতিয়াবা এনেকুৱা situation হয় যে they fall unconscious out of the stress. Okay, there's an absolute academic pressure, absolute pressure from the family, and this is a very heightened experience for them. তেওঁলোকে খুব emotionally overwhelming experience কৰে. So and they have a constant sense of low self confidence, because since they know that they're struggling with this particular career, be it out of their choice, not out of their choice, not able to cope, not in sync with what their expectations were, or any reason. Career stress or ক্ষেত্ৰতো বহুতখিনি reasons আহি পৰে. So যিয়ে ৰিজনছ নহওক কিয়, চ' এইখিনি আমি খুব সঘনাই আমি দেখা পাওঁ যে বাদ বাকী দেখোন চিটুৱেশ্যনত ঠিকে থাকে, more or less. But when it comes to the preparation, when it comes to sitting down to study and appearing examinations and preparing for the whole course, and how they see themselves in the next coming years, how they see their them being placed, so they have a complete blank experience. তেওঁলোকে সদায় কয় যে ইয়াৰ পিছত কি কৰিম মই একো নাজানো. Okay, so these are certain concerns which provides an indication that maybe the person might be struggling through career issues. On the other hand, I would also like to state this, that being a clinical psychologist, the kind of situations that we see in the clinic, বহুত ক্ষেত্ৰত এনেকুৱাও হয় যে এজন ষ্টুডেণ্ট এজন আহে একদম ক্লিনিকেল মানে ক্লাছিক চিমটমছ অফ ডিপ্ৰেশ্যন লৈ পেলাই, absolute low mood, not able to cope up, not able to get out of the bed, feeling, tired, lethargic the whole time, doesn't like to do anything else, দিনটো বিছনাতে থাকে. তাৰপিছত যেতিয়া probe কৰি গৈ থাকো that what might have triggered or what might have contributed to the individual's difficult experience, তাতো আমি career stress or কথা এটা কেতিয়াবা আমি বহুত তেনেকুৱা ক্ষেত্ৰত ওলাই আহি. So as I said, number one, it can either be a situation where the individual has constant discomfort and the person is aware that this discomfort is coming from my academic thing. I'm not able to cope up. মই কেতিয়াও পঢ়িব বিচৰা নাছিলো, মোৰ মাহঁতে জোৰ কৰিলে, মোৰ দাদা এইটো লাইনতে পঢ়িছিলে কাৰণে দাদাই ক'লে যে তই এইটোতে পাৰিবি. চ' সেই ধৰণৰ কথাত যদি আমি এটা career এটা চুজ কৰি লৈ পেলাই যিটো এটা অভিজ্ঞতা এটা পাওঁ, that is one major indicator. Number two, হয়তো কেতিয়াবা এনেকুৱাও হ'ব পাৰে that career decision was ours, no doubt, but then maybe while taking the decision we did not take it according to our own interests and capability. Maybe I had taken that decision based on a peer pressure. So তেতিয়া মই দেখো যে মই দেখোন I'm not able to cope up. Okay, and third is a situation where they showcase very classic clinical symptoms of some of the other psychiatric illness, and then when we probe it, then when we see things, then we understand that there is a scenario of a difficult career choice which has a probability of contributing to the individual's current condition. Okay, so I think these are the current, I'd like to say that these are kind of things that we see as certain indicators. I would not say symptoms, neither I'm going to say signs, but yes, major indicators that the individual's career stress has not been, has not been addressed, or the individual is struggling with the career decision they have made.
Right, right. We have a question from Salman Khurshid Mazumdar. Don't you think career stress also come with expectations? The way you plan and the way, just a minute,
It doesn't
and the
turn out
way
to be.
it doesn't turn out to be.
Yes, 100%, 100%. One of the major reasons or the scenario of career stress is also when there is a definite incongruence between what I had thought and what it had turned out to be, right? As the example which I had given, that I might have taken a decision of career all by my, choice, but maybe I did not have a lot of adequate information, right? I did not have a good information about how the structure of the course is going to be, what papers are going to be covered, how it is going to be aligned with what I want to do in the later life of of my profession, and the kind of hours that I have to spend. Okay, I'll just give an example with every regard to all the professions. I'll just take up an example of the nursing profession. So people who enter the nursing profession as a career, they have to be so much prepared with the kind of lifestyle they're going to have. They have a very what do you call, stressful uh, academic curriculum. They have a very stressful working hours. They have a very stressful routine and a calendar as well. Okay, their periods of their holidays, their leave system is totally different from any regular uh, student who is pursuing graduation. Okay, so the individual has to be very much prepared. So as I always say that they have to be prepared with the lifestyle changes it is going to bring about by the decision of that career. Same as with maybe teaching. Okay, everybody thinks that teaching is a very easy job. All I need to do is just flip through a few pages, ক্লাছৰ আগদিনাখন অলপমান হেৰি কৰি যাম, ৰিভিজন কৰি যাম, আৰু সেইদিনাখনে মই পিছদিনাখন মই নোটছ দি দিম, and I'm going to be all fine. But they don't know the kind of pain it has, the kind of struggle it has. It Every profession, they have their own share of efforts, they have their own share of stress. We need to be prepared with that so that it's in alignment with what I'm expecting. And for example, someone who is not comfortable working with children, this can be no, it's nothing wrong. They just need to know what really suits them. So if in certain cases, if an individual is not comfortable, working with kids, be in a profession of teacher, be in a profession of dealing with any children, it becomes very difficult for them because there is misalignment of the expectations, and it's a complete incongruence to what I had expected and what it turned out to be. Okay, in
Right.
case the individual likes to speak to us more, they can DM to us, and we can set we can talk about a lot of these examples where career stress is also a result of these expectations, and also when we don't have adequate information. So making a decision without having an adequate information, and then we see that okay, this is not I had what I had thought about. Okay,
Hmm.
so doing so, they really lose a lot of time, effort, energy, financial losses as well, right? So there have been couple of instances where I knew a client who had taken up this academic program in Australia, but when she lands there, she starts doing the academics. Within 7-8 months, she finds that, oh, this is not what I thought it to be. Okay, I thought that it'll have more of XYZ concept, but it's focusing more on ABC thing. This is not what I wanted. So she wrapped her bags up, and she came back within a year. So the entire dislocation and the kind of time, energy they have lost, the financial loss they had, that had incurred the very severe symptoms of depression into her. Right. So these are certain examples where expectations not going right and leading to career stress.
Right, right. Thank you so much for your question, Salman. Lisa, ma'am, do you have any point on the same question?
Um, yeah, like definitely, like when we talk about career, setting our career, choosing our career, the expectations or might be the congruence, what Priyanka ma'am already pointed, is very, very important. Like
Mm-hmm.
what our parents' expectations are, what our expectations are. It's, we actually try to align all together, which we
Mm-hmm.
might think, but at certain point it may lead to wrong career choice that we are talking about today, right? So consciously thinking or setting our career choice is very, very important, because later on it may or might be an individual may deal with various issues like mental health issues, definitely. So yes, that's my point.
Right, correct. So yes, like overall, like even though like clinically DSM or ICD, we do not have specific, criterias where we call, career stress to be a disorder or a mental health disorder or illness. But yes, these everyday symptoms or not symptoms exactly, but these everyday feelings or initial signs can lead up, can manifest into something which can overall impact your mental health in a very very devastating way, and may manifest into a very mental health disorders or any sort of illness, which again like hampers your daily functioning. But when we, like Priyanka ma'am said, when we probe into, like when a patient comes in, like for example depression, but when we probe into more, then we get to know what is the main contributor, where did it all started. And like the statistics that ma'am was sharing in the beginning of the webinar, I do also feel like it is a fact that there are a lot of extreme steps that students
Mhm.
take you know and this is definitely because of they are feeling too much of helplessness and hopelessness in a way that there's so much of pressure on them that
$100.
they take such extreme step, because there are events, and there are a lot of situation where people, their coping style was not healthy, when they end up thinking like maybe giving up on the life would be the only solution. I also believe like career stress is one thing, but it all starts with academic stress. When we are not clear about our foundation, and we are always in this always in this place where we are always questioning, am I making the right choice with my subjects or with my stream, or am I doing the right course? And then you end up doing a job with the course that you have studied, and then you get to know that no, the whole thing was wrong. The output of the course, the job that I'm designated to do right now, is not something that I'm enjoying. So it all can start
Correct.
from a place where you have been learning, you have been studying, you have been educating yourself with that particular course or particular stream of knowledge. But at the end you get to know that what the end result that came out of the whole thing is not something which is your cup of tea, or is not suitable for you. But then again, looking at the bright side, I feel like we may get uncomfortable with the decisions, and we may make wrong mistake wrong we make wrong career choices in your life. But then only when you get uncomfortable in a situation, you get to know that it's not my cup of tea, it's not what I am meant to do. And maybe that is the bright side we can look into, and then we can navigate our career, navigate into a place where we feel like we can jump into another career choice, or we can choose another job. So ma'am, there's another comment that we have. It says like, could you please speak and explain in English? So I think our viewers are not being able to understand in Assamese, so we have to
Okay.
stick with English.
That's
Yes.
okay. That's okay.
So
Well, anyway, to all the viewers, whenever I'm speaking in Assamese, I'm also constantly, translating it to English. So this is also for our, Assamese speaking viewers who, the native viewers from our state. But please trust me, all the viewers, whatever I'm speaking in English, I'm saying that in Assamese. At the same time, whatever I'm conversing in Assamese, I am translating them to English. I'm just trying to make sure that you don't miss out any point at all. So, but we are just trying to balance between all our viewers as well. But thank you so much for the
right.
feedback.
Right. So the next question I have is, how does the realization of being on the wrong career path affect your mental health? Now, we have talked about the signs and the feelings, but how does it directly impact your mental health or affect your mental health?
Okay, I'll take up that question.
Please,
Um,
please.
so, when we talk about now, here is a component of mental health when we are talking about going through in a wrong career path. So, definitely, a person, an individual, a student, a worker, an employee, they might uh, have, chosen a wrong career path, and them, like it might affect their mental health, definitely. But upon that, I want to point it out that many people from us is basically we always think that let any behavior first manifest, then we will see for years and years and years, which will take up or which will turn it out into a very dangerous thing. But in sort of career choosing wrong career path, I would like to give an example is we might sense or we might feel that this career is not for me, or I'm not might be feeling, or that satisfaction of working in this field is not up to the mark. So that thing, the person feels it for a certain amount of or a certain period of time, which he or she just forgets it, or it just goes away, and it takes years and years. And after, when he or she clears his or her bachelor's, master's, and goes for a job, the person realizes at that moment, which actually takes a long period of time. And so this is basically a way of it's a basically a way where one can notice, or one can at least sense that when there is something going inside, like anything that you have chosen wrong related to your career, then there are career counseling professionals are there, and you need to take the step right in the right time. That is the main important thing. And talking about mental health issues that it will affect, yes, uh, right now only the film that is coming into my mind is Three Idiots, definitely. But there are many such films which are there related to career stress or wrong career path, and we know all the characters that are being portrayed in the film, like each of the characters, how like wrong career path actually showcased. So with that, one person can have that sense of feeling, like feeling of self doubt during uh, a wrong career path. Like if I choose another career, what will happen? Will it turn out in a positive way, or might be such a failure thing? Like, I'll fail, or will I be able to do it? Certain things like that. And uh, second point I want to focus is they are very much stressed about what parents will say. Like, basically, like, I have chosen this career. Uh, they have invested so much money, and after that, right now I'm feeling that, or I'm going through a lot of career stress, and I have chosen the wrong career path. And right after that, they always think that what the parents will say. Will the parents of obviously, like, parents will beat me, parents will say this thing to me, parents will do, so what the society will say. So most of the things, it affects them. They might be overthinking about it a lot. Or I think there are many of them who are like who have already complied with certain decisions of wrong career path. And I'm not able to take out the correct statistics, but I have gone through a research paper which actually said that late adolescents with career choice problems often have psychological problems.
Mm.
So they want to focus on the late adolescents. So they have done a study on late adolescents. So I couldn't get out more information about it, but in the upcoming webinars, I would like to focus more on that if I would get time. Yeah. So person working in work environment, definitely it will affect his or her work satisfaction, committed to the work, um, or might be absenteeism. Like a student may not go to school, uh, like they like may not go to school properly. Or might be a person working as an employee, he or she may not might have proper work satisfaction. So when we choose a career, we always see work environment, we always think of securities, we always think there are many factors for us, but we don't think the most important thing is that, is it something that I want to do? Is it something that will be good for me, or I want to work in this field? So we have many factors to look upon when we decide a career. But the one simple factor that is important for us, we always overlap, or we always oversee it. We actually blur it out, right? And yeah, like sleeping issues, they might be having issues with sleep. And mostly I have seen from my perspectives, or my within my family, basically withdrawal of responsibilities are very, very, like, like, they withdraw from more responsibilities. Like, they can't do this, they can't do that. So when they go through this wrong career path, they actually withdraw from themselves, because nothing will happen in next. Sense of failure comes in. And with day to day life, they might have, lack of appetite, sleep issues. Yeah, like, and with all of this, what happened is when one suppresses the immune system, it will definitely lead to frequent illness. So, yeah, that are the important points that I want to highlight how it affects the mental health.
Right, right. Thank you so much, ma'am. Priyanka, ma'am, do you have anything to share on the same note?
I think I just have one thing to share. Mostly, Lisa has really covered everything so well. But you know, when she talked about the situation that we are just trying the problem to get manifested at its peak, and then you know keep waiting for it get for. I mean, we keep waiting for it to get worse, and then we start taking an action. So this reminded me of a conversation with a client who had a similar, issue of career stress leading to major psychological issues. And she had told me that, ma'am, what if I keep trying it a little bit more? And once I am completely exhausted, maybe then I'll have a reason to myself that I tried everything and then it did not happen. So I'm trying the next one, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I think this is one example of that, perception that people have, that you really have to get exhausted and try up till the last breath. Then, I questioned her that, I just put it up that, what if you save some energy to, start something new, and, that potentially will, might have a better response, better result, because once you are completely exhausted, you'll be left with very less resources of yourself to begin something, mental strength, self confidence, the motivation and so on. So don't you think that, when you are just at a peak, at a point where you know that it's not going further, don't you think it's a good opportunity or good time, in fact, to think of something else? But yes, as Lisa has really said, that this is a very Indian no, thought process, that we keep waiting for things to get worse and then start taking an action. I guess, career stress, or the career, assessment that we are working on, the AI based career assessment, I think it's going to work a lot on the preventive measures, you know, the wellness factor, how we can preserve our wellness by making a good decision of the career, and so that we can, maintain a good health. So I think that's a very preventive measure which people really need to think about, and they need to focus on.
Right, ma'am, correct. We have another comment in our live. It is by S. Akhom. I hope I'm pronouncing your name correct. I'm starting to feel uncertainties as I'm preparing for NIMHANS MPhil Clinical Psychology because I have heard that the workload is too heavy. This is the comment we got, ma'am.
I understand it's a very genuine feeling, it's a very genuine comment. It's very genuine to feel this way. But yes, an enhanced caseload would be, it is high, but it's also good, a really good opportunity to learn. So I feel that although I'm not glorifying on this idea that, having a excessive work pressure is a good sign, I'm not glorifying on that at all. But being a learner, I guess the more exposure you have to more number of cases and, extreme variety of cases, a better learning opportunity you have. But yes, number one, you have to be prepared for it, that yes, the work schedules are difficult, the work schedules are exhausting. But I guess, in case you really want to become a clinical psychologist, it's a place which will really give you the best exposure possible in this world. Okay, so I can understand your apprehension. I can totally understand your the discomfort, the stress. I can completely understand. But in case you are really determined to go ahead with clinical psychology and taking this profession up, then NIMHANS is the best learning place, right? Again, also the other thing which I had told about that one, and I'm just getting a call which I need to cancel. Right. So the other thing which I'm I had mentioned about that, the expectations and the kind of lifestyle a profession can bring about, like how I had given an example of nursing. I think clinical psychology is also one profession where things are not butter smooth. We have a very stressful work life, but then again, if someone is passionate about it, it's going to be very pleasant for them. But in case that career decision is out of some kind of a peer pressure, out of some kind of, the thought that, okay, maybe, mental health is a new thing now. Everyone is diving into this particular, wave of getting into mental health and so on, then it might be really a problem. But in case, as I said, that if you're really passionate about becoming a clinical psychologist, NIMHANS is going to be a very good place for you to learn. But um, although I'm not glorifying this, heavy workload and excessive work pressure at all, but I think you will definitely have that courage, and you can really buckle up yourself to learn at the best place.
Right, ma'am. I think like Nimhans is one of those everyone who's trying to be a clinical psychologist, everyone who's aspiring to be a clinical psychologist in India, everyone dreams to study to be a part of Nimhans and to get the exposure and the experience from Nimhans.
Right.
So definitely I know, like we all know, we know the fact that Nimhans can be very very hectic. The life and the the everyday practice can be very very hectic, but it also depends on your perspective. Like before joining, and if you get into the college, if you get into the this thing Nimhans, so it also depends on your perspective, as in like you have to be mentally prepared, you have to be ready
Mm.
to take up those challenges. We all know it's not going to be, as ma'am said, it's not going to be smooth. We all know that. So if you are resilient enough and if you think that you can do it, and on top of that, if you're passionate about this subject
Right.
and if you love to learn, it is an amazing place to learn. And I think you'll have fun along with a lot of sleepless night and assignments and a lot of
Yes,
case studies. But you're going to have a lot of
absolutely.
fun in studying and in learning in a lot of new experiences. So all the best for your
And
preparation.
also on a lighter note, I think every clinical psychologist, every MPhil holder, they have spent sleepless nights, like, innumerable sleepless nights, while they were into their academics. So yes, NIMHANS is the most, premium institute, but any institute you go to for your MPhil, it will take away, the kind of, uh, it'll really change your perspective towards yourself. But I think that's a perfect example for us, at least. If you are passionate about it, you'll not find it, stressful at all. But in case you are not comfortable with the career choice and the lifestyle changes and the kind of, professional life you're going to have, then really give a thought about it. But in case you really want to, you can really build up on your resilience, as Yeja has mentioned, and I'm very sure you'll be able to, fly really high.
Correct. So moving on to the next question and the last question of the evening. Can you share insights into how to make a better, like the whole decision making process when one is contemplating to make a career choice? How can you share an insight? How can one make a better, can make their decision making process a little better when they're contemplating their career choices?
I think I'll answer this question by, bringing up something which I had discussed in the previous session, that, when it comes to career choice, when it comes to, decision of a career, we really have to back calculate. We have to really, go a lot behind. And then we have to start things from the beginning. The foundation has to be built. So I think
Mm-hmm.
the major things which people have to know about this is a very good amount of awareness. With the changing
Mm-hmm.
time, there is, changing and absolute amazing opportunities of career coming your way. So all an individual requires is to be open and, have the awareness, gather as many information as you want to about the availability of various career prospects and how to accomplish them. Okay, that is important. Number two, having a very healthier work environment where people have the, you know, they have this particular, space where they can comfortably talk about different career opportunities. They should not remain fixated with a few known or conventional orthodox career options. They really need to get out of that phase. Then comes a particular situation where an individual needs to have a very good self awareness about what I want to do, how I see my life, okay, how I see myself in the next 5 years, 10 years down the line, what kind of job I see myself doing. Okay, so these are certain, a self awareness is very, very important. And of course, self awareness is a journey, it's not a destination. It's not that, by the time a student is in class 11, he or she had known everything about themselves. That's not going to happen. It's, the openness to giving yourself a chance to, you know be more flexible, knowing your needs, knowing your perspectives, knowing your prospects even, right? So that evolution, that kind of somebody is evolving, one has to be really open to that idea. Okay, then comes, coming from the same first point where the awareness lies, then we really need to have a good research and dig into this entire, journey of exploring different career options. And since, as I have told you, that there are numerous, I think in the next session we'll bring up this particular study, will bring up this particular statistics, that the kind of the number of career options available, at least in India and in the world put together, or in different countries, will definitely work on this statement. And you'll know that, there's so many of them. So sometimes it may not be easy for an individual to explore each and every career option and then find out how feasible that option is going to be. So that is when a career assessment and a career counseling plays a very, very vital role. It really decreases all the anxiousness, and it really sums up to a better option by lessening down the burden of finding the best thing for you. And with the AI driven aspect, where we have this AI career assessment platform, so I think it's even making it more realistic, and it's giving us more accurate and ever evolving options for us. So I think the journey of contemplating, or the journey of finding a appropriate or adequate or feasible career option, is to stay open to various, information, stay open to, various, keep yourself well abreasted, keep yourself well aware, talk to people. Nowadays, LinkedIn provides you a very good platform. Social media, you can really use it in such an amazing way to connect people, to talk about their, experience, talk about their job life. To be honest, I had done that when I was getting into MPhil. I had connected to people of my, the past outs. I mean, the super seniors of that institute. I had reached out to them. I had asked them about, how it's going to be and things like that. So that had really helped us in getting an idea and things like that. So it gives you a better preparation. Okay, so I think talking to people, communication is very, very important. Just ask questions, ask people, talk to people, reach out to people, and keep yourself really open. And again, bringing things from the previous session, we talked about the role of parents. I would also like to request the parents to stay very open, and keeping a flexible environment for the young adults or these adolescents to progress in their career opportunity. And this AI driven career assessment tool, it also best gives you this idea that the kind of, depending on the kind of the personality you have, your interest area, your career motivators, your abilities, all these, assessments are being put together, and all these findings are put together to find out that, which career assessment will work the best for an individual. And accordingly, we can start exploring. So that saves a lot of our time, energy, emotion, and it really, most importantly, minimizes our efforts, and we are more able to focus things. We have the more energy, we have the more resources in ourselves to focus on specific things. For example, the AI based career assessment tool will give you top 3 to top 5 to top 7 options, as many options that you would like to see. So you can check out your top 5 options, and then you can, specifically research upon, you can specifically, go and deep dive into those areas and find out. So that will lessen down half of your work, and you'll be more efficient in deciding things for yourself, and that has really helped individuals. So yes, so I think that's very important to, have this journey all intact from the beginning.
Right, ma'am, right. So yes, about career assessment, like when we have a lot of ifs and buts, and like, what if this doesn't work out, and you are in a place where you are not sure, you are in a place where you are making a lot of, questions to yourself. Maybe that is the time when you can feel like I should take an assessment based on like my career choice, and it would give, as Priyanka ma'am said, it would give you the top 5 top 7 or top 8, career paths or career job opportunities like you can choose into, and the best suited one, and then you can do your research on it, and you can work your way out knowing the best strengths that you have, and which can, put into a job, and that will give you the best, career satisfaction in overall. Because at the end of the day, if we are not satisfied with the work we are doing, that it decreases the whole quality of life that we are living. Because there's going to be a lot of burnout, there's going to be a lot of, other struggles that we face on a day-to-day issue. So to minimize all of that, maybe, before we when we have such ifs and buts in our head, we can just, opt for a career assessment where we can get an overall gist of our whole, of the paths that we can choose as a career. Lisa ma'am, I think we lost you in between, like there was some technical glitch from your side. So we were talking about like how decision making process one can, how can one make the decision making process better. So is there any point that you like to share on the same note?
Hello, I'm audible.
Yes, yes, you
Yes
are.
ma'am, you are audible.
Yeah, yeah. So I don't know what happened with the network. Yeah. So actually, I got cut during before the question even. So yeah. So the
You want me
real
to repeat the
so
question, ma'am?
yeah, yeah. Please.
So basically the question is, how can our, viewers, and how can someone make their whole decision making process a little better when they are questioning what should they do,
Mm-hmm.
when they're questioning their career choice?
Okay. So, first thing, one needs to be aware about what he or she is good at. Basically, the inner potential, the aptitude of a person is very, very important. Whether the person is good at mechanical, whether the person is good at creativity, whether the person is good at communication. So, one needs to know his or her inner potential at first. And later on, with dividing with pros and cons, one needs to find out, according to me, when one is going through a little bit of ifs and buts. So one needs to go through pros and cons where he or she weighs down or weighs everything about which one will be better. Yes, we definitely seek help or guidance regarding career, solving out career stress, or might be figuring out career, which is definitely we should do. So as our PsychSpace AI based career assessment does, it will help. It will give you a clarity about your about your career choice, which will help you in later process or proceedings of your career. And with that, it is not only for students, but but it is also for uh, housewives uh, who have actually left their career before marriage, and after that they want to continue with their career. So it's also for them as well, which is definitely a good thing, which I really liked about it. And after weighing down all of pros and cons, one will come at a point. And within this process, I know that it's not something that one can realize, or one can make out all this decision process within a day. It may take time. Through life experiences, through ups and downs, one will definitely learn. Because if we think that our life needs to be a bed of roses, then definitely it won't be worth it, right? So we need a full of challenging experiences in our life, which will give us a lot and lot of benefits, and as well as learnings in our life. So yeah, so with that, professional guidance, one can also seek professional guidance. And might be within their family, or might be within their near and dear one, they can also seek guidance regarding that. If he or she has interest in that particular field, and he or she finds someone in that particular field in their family, they can also, sit, and they can also share certain tips, tricks, or might be certain guidance related to that. So in through that process, one might uh, realize, or one might decide about their career, uh, which is not basically a thing or a goal which will be achieved by day one, or might be it will take months, or might be few months, or might be years with experiences. Yes.
Right, ma'am. So thank you so much for your answer. And I think like these are all the questions that I had for the evening. And yes, summing up the whole webinar, at the end of the day, we always come to a point where we highlight self awareness to be the part where it all starts. As ma'am said, it is a journey, it's not a destination. And if one struggles to understand, one struggles with their awareness, one struggle with knowing themselves, psych space is there to help them, to consult them. It's just we are one DM away and one call away, and we are always there to support and help and to guide and to see people and help people. So with that, I would like to thank Priyanka ma'am and Lisa ma'am to giving us the time and the insight they had on the knowledge, insight they gave on the questions that I asked. And yeah, thank you so much for your insights, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Yeja. Very well moderated. Thank you for the questions. And I'm very sure that, these are very usual things which are reflected upon individuals' mindset when they are struggling through career stress. So I really appreciate how you have resonated with their experience. So thank you to all our viewers. Please keep following us. And yes, as Yeja has mentioned, we are just a DM away. Please feel free to reach out to us for any kind of a query, any kind of a support that you are looking forward for. Thank you so much, everyone.
Right. Thank you, everyone.
Yes, as I have also put down our Instagram page as well, so that they can subscribe. They can actually follow us on our Instagram, as well as they can subscribe our YouTube channel for further webinars. So I have put it down.
Yeah, and also
Thank
thank you
you.
so much for the support and love that we have been getting throughout the webinar. Not just this, but like previous webinar and the love and support that we get over our Instagram handle. So yes, thank you so much. Good
Thank
night,
you so much,
everyone.
everyone. Good night.